A lot of recognition.
All right. Good evening, Springs BOE. We're live and you're being recorded.
Okay, we're live. Barbara. We're live. Oh, great. Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Prior to the start of this meeting, we were in executive session where we were talking with our attorney. So right now it's 7:11. Julie, would you do roll call, please?
Sure. Barbara Dayton?
Here.
Tim Frazier?
Here.
Pat Raven?
Here.
Eric Frederickson?
Here.
Emma Field?
Here. Great, thank you. And we can all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you very much. It's great to see some of our students here with us this evening. We have a couple of student presentations. We'll be having our student council will address us first, and then we'll be having a presentation from our champion Lego team, or robotics team, I should say. So student council, if you'd like to come up.
Hello, good evening. My name is Alexandra Marengo, and I'm Secretary of Student Council. My name is Emma Boyle, and I'm the Vice President.
My name is Nate Herbert, and I'm the President.
We're here today to mostly talk about what we have done, what we're going to do, and maybe some potential field trips involved that we can talk about at the end. Let's start with announcements. The students from 6th to 8th grade, they have been writing them. And we usually Tuesday to Friday. It has been going well. We have the diversity club with us that we can do the quote of the day. So we translate it in English and in Spanish, so other people can understand it. There's Pizza Fridays, which is where we collect money and hand out pizza to students on Fridays. What do we do with money? We usually say that and we count it. Yeah, our treasurer counts it, but she's not here today. Yeah, she's not here today. And then we collect boxes at the end of the day, so we help out the custodians on that. And then we started Ice Cream Fridays, which I don't know. For my campaign, I promised Ice Cream Fridays for 6th through 8th. Right now we're doing 7th through 8th for pizza, Ice Cream Fridays. And it's so the students can have a little sweet treat before the weekend starts. Yeah, we also meet, not just us, but we meet everyone in student council every Wednesday. And then we just meet every Tuesday just to talk about our business. We have separate committees that we have what? We have there's pizza committee. Yes, there's announcement committee, social committee. They make the boards, they decorate them. What else? We even have a chess club that we started. It's every Tuesday and Thursday, from 3 to 5, I believe. I don't know.
It's 3 to 4.
Something like that. Yeah. All right. We did open gym. Nate, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, so every Tuesday and Friday, we have open gym for 6th through 8th grade, and it's from 6 to 8.
Yeah. And we are planning a spring fling. Ms. Cleary, Ms. McCormack wanted to ask if he put in the date for April 28th.
Yes, it's already, okay. Yes, you did.
All right.
It's on the calendar.
Okay. So, time for the news business. Mr. McCormack informed us that he met with you, Ms. Winter, and he was discussing on putting painted garbage cans on the basketball and tennis courts, so our teachers can, of course, help us with that. He was thinking of somewhat painting like Keep Springs Clean, but in both English and Spanish, just, so we can keep it clean for the kids who understand, keep the courts clean. And then to also clean up the fallen trees, so we could dedicate a day to just clean it up we can have people volunteer to help with that. And next up, so the student council wanted to make a mural on the junior high. They thought it was a little bit bland. They wanted to do on the non-locker side, so Mr. Shane, Ms. Bodie's room, like the wall. They wanted to make a mural for our teachers to help. They wanted to see if that was potential. Okay. All right. And the dedication. So we went from 2015, that was the last parting grit from the 8th grade. So the class of 2023 wanted to do semi of like the parting grit. So we wanted to refurbish the sign of 1984 in the bus loop. So we were looking for donations and assistance, and we already have a sort of estimate amount of how much it's gonna cost, right? Yeah. All right. And then, last but not least, the possible 8th grade trip. So we were planning, we were talking, a potential trip in June, a beach day for only the 8th graders. We could get already our lifeguards, we're mature enough to, take care of ourselves.
And we've already been through this school.
Yeah, it's cool. So, yeah, thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it that you listened to us talk.
No, thank you very much for being here. You guys. So student government, thank you so much for coming here. You guys seem really engaged and acting in government like you should with the committees and stuff you're working on. It's really exciting to hear all your ideas. We look forward to, seeing what happens with some of your projects like the garbage cans and stuff. Maybe I'll have to come into school on a Friday sometime. Maybe I'll just have to come in to do something while it happens to be an ice cream Friday. I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for coming and for being so gung-ho about stuff. Thanks very much. We are going to go on to some items of recognition now.
Now, the first one is, it's official, spring school has an osprey nest. There may not be ospreys yet, but there's a nest. And
Platform, Osprey platform.
platform. So we have East End Excavation Corp, and we have Work and Company to thank for the donation. Thank you, Emma, for all the materials and for putting the pole up.
That was Peter Grimes, right?
Yeah. But we're thrilled.
Yeah, we appreciate that very much. So thank you.
And there was a timeline on it, so we got it in on time, so hoping that we get some birds.
Get some birds this year. Okay, that would be nice.
The next group has wowed us, and they're here tonight to wow the board. We have 2 robotics teams. Robotics started in Springs about 6 years ago, and it has grown. This year, it's Powered Up is their theme. Lego Robotics is part of a bigger program called First Robotics. Dean Kamen, everybody knows, the inventor of the Segway, created this program about 25 years ago because he knew that there was going to be a shortage of science, math, researchers, doctors, and tried to create a sport of the mind. So he tried to combine it with sports themes, only have students also do research. So they're required to, yes, complete some missions on a board, which they'll show you, but also required to do a research project. And the research projects are usually based on real life. And some of the things the students came up with are things that could really be used in the future. It's amazing. So I'm gonna let the students come forward, the Thunderbots and the Lightning Bots. Is that camera able to pick this up?
Let me just see what it's saying. That's what the publisher is saying right now.
There were 3 awards won. Innovation Project Award, Engineering Excellence Award that got both teams to the finals on Long Island. And then once at the finals on Long Island, there was the Rising All-Star Award given to the Lightning Bots. Okay, which now they have an opportunity to go to a national competition, and we're waiting to hear where that will be, either in New Jersey or possibly Massachusetts at WPI, where they'll compete against national teams. So they've had a really good year.
Did you know that solar panels only make 14% of electricity?
That's very little.
How can we get more electricity out of solar panels? Well, let's put thermoelectric generators with solar panels. Hi, we're the Thunderbots. I'm Jack. I'm Liam.
I'm Elijah.
I'm Lucas.
I'm Sam.
I'm Justin.
I'm Jay. I'm Tucker. I'm Jeff. I'm Jeanette. And our team number is 3.
6659.
We found out only 18% of energy gets converted into electricity, and only 18% of energy reaches solar panels. Our mission was to increase the amount of energy that gets converted into electricity.
We decided to put thermoelectric generators with solar panels so that it would be able to create more electricity. And we also put it on the garage so that it would be able to also shield the sun.
The way that solar panels work is when the sun shines through the solar panel, EV cells absorb the solar energy, which creates an electrical charge that moves in response to an electric field inside the cell that allows the electricity to flow.
Solar panels can reduce power bills and can last about 25 years. And can be made by recycling just like plastic and water bottles and more.
The conversion efficiency of solar panels, meaning how efficiently they can convert solar to electric energy, has been going up 5% in the last 10 years.
The way that solar panels work is that it collects the heat surrounding the solar panel, and there are 2 types of cells, the N-type and the P-type, which the N-type has more electrons, while the P-type has more fission. So once the heat is added, it creates an electrical current, and this is called the Seebeck effect.
So we actually have a little model here. So we would have our solar panels on a hydraulic piston so that it can follow the sun throughout the day, and then we would line the top of it with our thermoelectric generators. And then you might be wondering, how will we store this? I'll pass this on to Liam in a second. But say that you have a Tesla or an electric car, we would take our solar solution, we bring it up to our battery, then it would do all this that Liam's going to explain, and then we'll come back down into the electric car to charge it.
So we have all this electricity. What are we going to do with it? A battery? Yeah, but not a lithium-ion battery. Those are like unreliable, and they kind of like you're digging into the earth. They don't come from the best places. They're bad for the earth. Like you might have seen like videos of Teslas like lighting on fire. Well, we're using a gravity battery, which is kind of like a better alternative. So I have a model here. So during the day, it takes your electricity that you get and it powers a motor. It lifts up something. It could be like a heavy block of concrete. It would lift it up to the top during the day, and then once you want your energy back at night, it would take that energy that was kinetic, then it would be potential. Once it stops at the top, when you want it back, you would drop it again, spinning a generator, which gives you your energy back, and it'd be powered by the excess energy there. You could put these in abandoned mine shafts, on hills. You could put them on top of water towers, like abandoned water towers. There's a place in, I think, Detroit, where they have like 2-ton train cars on a hill constantly moving up and down. And the generators are on the wheels, and they're constantly generating electricity and holding electricity. And concrete, you could also use it with water using a pump. The gravity spinning like a propeller, like hydropower. Yeah, concrete could use a concrete block too, which is recyclable. Yeah.
Our original problem was to do a wind turbine,
and we were going to put solar panels inside of them. But we found out that wind turbines, they kill 500 birds a year. So we decided to go with the hummingbird wind turbine, which mimics the hummingbird, and it would kill less birds. So that's what we chose, but we did.
We reached out to 2 companies, one being PSG and the other one being Brookhaven National Lab. PSG was the only one that responded to us. We presented our innovation project, and they gave us some pretty good feedback.
And 2 of them were experts at solar panels.
One of them was also an expert on energy storage, and there are 6 of them in total.
Thank you guys for your time. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm sorry, what was the name of your kind of battery again?
A gravity battery, because it harnesses gravity to
Right, okay.
function.
Good job.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and then we're gonna let these guys show what they got.
The camera, yeah.
Ready?
Wait,
Good
what
job,
was it
guys.
again?
What was
They are such good kids.
No notes,
Amazing.
none.
They're amazing.
The kids had no cards. In front of judges.
They're good, Christine?
Yes, we-
Yeah.
Is that better? So we that's what people are saying at home.
Hold it up over like Ronald.
Get my movie camera.
Does that need to move a little more, because they just shifted it? Is that all? We have the whole thing? Yeah, we're missing that one end a little bit. I don't know how.
So just for a little insight into what exactly this is about 25% of the total score that these guys get in competition. Both teams had the robot. We figured we'd let one team present the project to you guys, and then the other team show you what their robot could do. These guys scored a couple more points than the other team. And it basically the robot, they engineer the entire robot, and then they code the robot to complete different missions on the board. This board is the same exact board that a student in China gets to work with. And then the reason these guys are going to nationals, everybody competes on the same board. So they're all completing the same missions. They're all coding the robot to do the same, not the same thing, but to complete the same missions. And they're given points for each mission they complete. Every team has 2.5 minutes to complete this part. So we're gonna run a clock and we're gonna run a little mock competition for you guys. These guys are gonna have to do this again in June and hopefully pick up some points and send us to wherever the next competition is. All right, are you guys ready? Show them how you do it. 3, 2, 1, let go. There's teamwork involved here, a huge part of the first robotics program.
What time, Adri?
1:30. Everything that this robot is doing was coded by these guys on a computer. And obviously the computer's not connected now, so this robot has been programmed to do all of these different maneuvers.
You're only allowed to touch the robot when it's in those white circles, so I actually want to give you guys a lot of credit right now. You haven't lost any tokens, you haven't had to grab the robot, it's always made it back to home, so great job.
30 seconds. Four, three, two, one, go.
And time. Audrey, do you want to talk about the last component that you were judged on?
That's core values. You guys want to talk about your core values?
Yeah.
Amongst the team members here? Go for it, guys.
So there are 6 core values. It's inclusion, teamwork, impact, innovation, fun, and discovery. And we used all of these core values throughout our season in LEGO Robotics, as well as gracious professionalism, which is a major part of the First Robotics corporation.
And what does the award that you won, Rising All-Star, mean?
Means that we went from being not that great to pretty well in the span of 2 competitions, right?
Yeah.
And they expect great things from this team in the future. And it's a special award that's given not at every event, only certain events the judges have an opportunity to grant this award if they feel that there is a team among the competitors that meets the criteria, and they met the criteria for this award.
And I don't know if Ms. Winter touched on just the heaviness of this competition. Our students went into their first initial qualifiers event. There were 4 qualifiers at each qualifier event. There were about 30 teams there. So in total, there were 120 teams, over 120 teams competing. And our team came in the top 8 at their qualifier, which means out of all 4 qualifying events, they were in the top 20% on Long Island, which is a huge, deal, because they, and at the end of the competition, the lightning rods, they were in the top 4 out of that 120. So, yeah. Competing at the best of the best and, moving forward.
Absolutely.
Super proud of you guys.
Can I ask a question? Sure. If the board is something that all competitors use everywhere, are the different components on it, are they using the same kind of, will they have something built that looks like that or like that on theirs, or do people design different things that are capable of doing a similar?
It's a sort of set, so the board, the sheet that it comes on, the distinct sets to build it, all except the robot come from the company and are shipped out to each school.
Okay.
So not every robot is the same, some are different companies.
Okay, so the robots can be different, but all components are
Yes.
the same, right?
The robots were the real innovation. That's that.
Yeah, tell me about competition. When you went to competition, how many of these boards were set up?
There was
Right?
there's 8. Yeah. 8.
And then 3 practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone identical, so the robot essentially is supposed to work on each board the same. Of course, you guys, does your robot work the same every time? No.
No, but you guys, honestly, you had a great run to this. That was awesome. One of the best ones.
And you get points
Really proud of these guys.
you get points for certain maneuvers that you do. Some are more difficult than others, right?
Yep, so like, each one of these packs counts for 10 point, like just different point values for different things. And
Where are you going on Thursday?
Hofstra University.
And what's at Hofstra?
I'm gonna go see the.
Where the kids from high school, right? Because there's smaller kids than us, right? And then there's us, and then there's the high school kids, right? And the high school kids aren't working with simple Legos anymore. They're full scale, like metal engineered robots that are about this high, right? All made for multiple different tasks for different things, and the events are like hosted at certain areas, right? But there's people from all around the world. Like, pretty sure, one in like the presentation that they gave us, right, at the award ceremony, there are people from like North Korea, China, Japan, right, all in this one place. Like the entire world gets together to just do the one thing, and it brings many people together.
Well, it's great that you guys can go there.
Well said.
And,
Yeah.
be part of that on Thursday.
Good luck.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, good luck as you go forward, and, yeah, congratulations, and thank you so much for coming this evening. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Julie. We'll make sure that gets back to the science room.
yeah, can we leave this here for
Yeah,
tonight?
leave it there for now. We'll make sure it gets back later. Thank you, guys and girls.
Thank you, team.
Thank you so much for your time. Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, the certificates, Laura. Sorry.
You can just give them back.
You can just give them out.
We've come a long way in a few years.
Right?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Just so
And
add,
the public speaking skills are amazing.
Yes, that's really amazing.
both projects were amazing too, both projects. But at the April meeting, they should know where they're going. That will be, of course, on the Board of Ed agenda.
High school team? High school, they have a team.
No, but they're working on it.
Ah, excellent.
They actually invited them to go to Hofstra with them.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah.
The public speaking is a very nice byproduct of that. It's great to hear them present. It's always,
They worked as a team really well. They really did.
All those skills, those are the skills that companies are looking for. When they see a resume with FIRST Robotics on it, they know what they're getting.
It's great. It's pressure too. They have to do that in front of judges and peers.
Our sports team, modified basketball, winter season boys, white, received the sportsmanship award. Just very common for Springs, but again, an accomplishment. Donation D is $500 for our greenhouse from Jennifer Mulligan, based on the article that was in the paper. We want to take the East Hampton mini grant. We have a recognition tonight for one of our teachers.
Mrs. Dragone applied for a mini grant for $2,000 through the Greater East Hampton Education Foundation, and the grant was approved. And that will go towards decodable texts, which are instructional texts for beginning readers, pre-K through 3, and struggling readers, and it focuses on phonics and sounding out words, and it's a supplement to our current ELA program, our reading program, balanced literacy.
Congratulations, Lisa.
Congratulations,
And last but not least on recognition is the East Hampton Hurricane Swim Team, state champions for the second consecutive year in a row.
wow.
And there was a parade earlier tonight. That's exciting. Congratulations to all of the team members, several from Spring School.
Couple of your staff members are.
Yes, Sean Knight is one of the coaches.
Right, yes. Well, congratulations, Hurricanes. Yeah, I'm very proud. Okay, we're gonna hop into a PTA update right now.
How are you? We have a lot going on this spring. So spring break is going to be on April 21st at the Talk House. The tickets are in pre-sale currently for $25, or you can get them at the door for $30. And the event will have raffles, live music, and the taco truck. The next spring break committee meeting is going to be March 30th here at school, if anyone would like to join. The PTA, Ms. Bodie has been kind enough to share the staff basketball game with us. So we're going to be selling 50/50 raffles to help the 8th grade trip, and spring break tickets, and spring swag. And then Diana Lee Photography has been kind enough to donate. Well, she's going to do 12 photo sessions, family photo sessions for $100 per session, and 50% of that will go to the PTA. So that's on April 23rd, and you can sign up for your member hub. And then besides that, field trips, the 5th grade went to United Skates of America last week on March 13th. Sorry? 4th and 5th, my apologies. Thank you. United Skates of America, we got huge feedback. They had a lot of fun. This Friday, the 8th grade is going to Ellis Island, the 24th, and then the K through 2nd will head out to the aquarium on the 3rd. The 3rd grade is going to go to the Long Island Game Farm on the 11th. And on May 22nd, 6th and 7th grade will go to an adventure park of Long Island. And I skipped over the Easter egg hunt will be out in the field, Buddy and all, on April 3rd, rain date April 4th. And that's about it for this month.
All right, thank you very much. Question, Megan, we talked about having like a board meet and greet with the PTA on the 28th. Is that still?
Yes, is it going to be here or off campus?
It was going to be here because we have a budget workshop after that.
Perfect.
So at 5:30.
5:30 yep.
On the 28th, right?
Put on the calendar.
Okay, yeah,
Thank
great.
you.
All right, thanks. Okay, it's now time for public commentary. We're now part of the agenda where we can open our meeting into the public comment period. Although state law does not require us to hold a public comment period, we have chosen to do so because we believe it is crucial for us to hear the comments and or concerns of our community members. Please note that the board is here to listen. The public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, please do not expect the board to respond to your comments and or concerns tonight. This is because we take your comments and concerns seriously and want to have sufficient time to process and research issues if necessary. When you are recognized, please stand, come to the podium, and state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes, which is timed by our district clerk, and we ask you to please wrap up when your allotted time is finished. Due to state and federal privacy laws, neither the Board of Education nor the Superintendent of Schools will entertain public comments of a personal, individual student, and or personnel concern. On these matters, we would ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels, or you can leave your contact information with the district clerk along with the issue, and we will have someone get back to you. So if someone at this time would like to come up for public commentary number 1, which is focused on items of board business, personnel, finance and policy, this would be the appropriate time if someone would like to come up, or call in on LTV.
Yes, Barbara, we have one caller.
Great. And you can put them through, please.
Okay, sure.
Thanks.
All right, caller 2309, you're unmuted.
Hi, yes. My name is Ann Bell, and I am the parent of a 4th grader in the class. And I just wanted to call and advocate for splitting their grade up into more classes per grade. I know that they are up in the higher 60s as a grade level, and that other ones comparatively are split into 4 classes, while our grade is only 3. And I mean, I just think it would be better all around for our students who are already facing, you know, being behind from COVID and other things, to be able to have a little more one-on-one attention from their teachers.
Thank you very much. We're actually focusing just on items of board business at the moment. This is not open public comment period, but we've made a note of your request. I can see our principal and superintendent writing things down right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody here?
Sure. Christy with Lamanda. I'm punching out again.
I saw that one of the policies, and I'm on policy committee, so this is not a surprise, but one of the policies, 4321, is in reference to special education. And I know that in the past, the board, the administration, everybody has been very supportive of bringing a lot of special education opportunities to our school, so much so that we even are able to tuition kids into our school because we offer such great programs, and we're very proud of that. One of the things that this policy talks about are things like having the support of trained team. So we have over time trained in different strategies, CPI in the past, TCI for the last few years, and we are looking to continue that moving forward and make sure that we have some good team members ready to respond to any student that might be in crisis, whether they're an identified special education student or not. And we just want to make sure that we do have that support. Sometimes we might need financial support to make that happen moving forward, so that enough people are trained, that we can handle anything that comes up. And another component of that policy is also having the possibility of something similar to a behavior intervention room, a safe place for a student who might need to decompress a little bit. And so looking forward, I know that even though we have this addition, we're still short on space in a lot of ways, but thinking about, how we can provide a nice, safe space for a student who might need that break. So looking forward to next year and how we're moving rooms around. Just wanted to keep that fresh in everybody's mind. I know that it's a conversation I've already had with Ms. Winter and Ms. Cleary. Just that we want to make sure that we're providing everything we can for all of our students. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else at this time?
Monique Sullivan, second grade teacher, but also a parent. I just wanted to ask a clarifying question. You had mentioned that the board plans to meet with the PTA. I think that's wonderful, and I'm looking forward to, I'm an active participant in PTA, and looking forward to you guys joining our PTA meeting and having a little open forum. Is there a plan in doing that with the teachers as well? Is this more geared towards parents are allowed to have questions and comments, or is that going to be something separate that teachers are going to be allowed to do, or are we
Well, it's a
welcoming that?
parent-teacher association,
So it is,
right?
you're
I'm assuming
welcoming
that
teachers to.
whoever usually
have-
comes to the meetings is fine.
Okay.
And I think, we've heard some requests for, sorry, got something in my throat this evening. People want to have more understanding of what's going on. So I think in general, we might be able to go into doing this annually, say in October, earlier in the year, something. But for now, hopping into this right now seemed like a good opportunity.
Awesome. Okay, so teachers are welcome to come and do that as well then if they're.
It's PTA, so, it's parents and teachers.
Yes, great. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, anybody else here or calling in? Okay, let's hop into personnel.
This evening, we have a recommendation before the board because I'm jumping on this to secure a science teacher for 6th and 7th grade. Sandra Vecchio is with us. She has been a leave replacement for the year. In order to fill that leave replacement permanently, we posted the position and we interviewed Ms. Cleary and Mr. Odom. And Sandra, of course, came out on the top of the list. And I'm recommending her for a probationary position. Her tenure, due to the fact that she is on a leave for the entire year, her tenure will start this year, so she would be eligible for tenure in 26. So I'd like to make that recommendation now while she's here, maybe separate it out, Barbara.
Okay, go ahead and do that. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints Sandra Vecchio to the probationary appointment of science teacher effective August 30th, 2023, with an anticipated tenure date of August 30th, 2026, at a salary of $54,431 BA Step 2 plus benefits. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you. B is substitute teacher. We have a non-certified teacher for you. C is salary advancements for several teachers. D is a resignation of a teacher. And E is a resignation, a leave request plus a appointment for substitute teacher.
Okay, any questions from the board at this time? Then do I have a motion to move personnel items B through E to consent agenda?
Motion.
Second? Yep. That was Pat, I believe. All in favor? Aye.
Julie, is Mike with us? Yep.
Mike, we are ready for finance.
Good evening. All right, the financial information, you've got the appropriation status report through February 28th, 2023, and the revenue status report for the same period of time, just for your information, just for acceptance. Anybody have any questions on the status reports from revenues and appropriations? I'll move on to the next section, section 8, finance. What you've got before you are the warrants for February 2023. That's item A. Item B is the claims audit report for February 2023. C is an agreement with Southampton Union Free School District to provide health and welfare services. I believe that's for students attending one of the Catholic schools in that district, and we're responsible for those. Item D is a contract with EnviroScience for facilities consulting services. Item E is a donation from Jennifer Mulligan for Greenhouse. I think you spoke about that earlier. Same with item F. Item G is to amend the appointment of Therese McGuire as CSE chairperson. H is the appointment of Richard Burns as a CSE chairperson. I is the annual budget vote, trustee election legal notice, state amendment. And J, you've got a couple of lists on inventory disposals, items we've had stored in pods since the pandemic started, and we have no use for them, so they're in order for us to move forward with disposition of those items.
Okay. I had a question about the warrants. It looked like there was a lot in the H fund. And is this just final follow-up from all the building stuff in terms of invoices coming in? Or when are we going to sort of wrap up all those payments?
Yeah, we've still got, right now, almost all of the contracts from the capital project have been closed, except one, Stalco. So I'm waiting for BBS to complete and finish the Stalco one. So yes, a lot of these are still lingering. We're closing out the contracts on each of those contractors.
Okay.
I have a question about the agreement with Southampton. I know we do this on a yearly basis. Has there been an increase in that contract over the years that passed?
Let me see here. I don't recall what we had from last year. I'm not.
That's based on the number of students in the private schools.
Which is OLA pretty much.
Yeah. So that
would go fluctuate on the number of students that are in the game.
Yeah, in addition to, you know how that's calculated is based on the number of students and their services, nursing, psychology.
How many students is that this year? Are you anticipating?
I think that was on, they take the names off. Was it on the
We have
back?
5 students this year that they're looking to bill us for. So it's going to come out to about $8,000 in health services for those private school students.
Okay.
And these are students that are attending Our Lady of the Hamptons Roman Catholic School.
Okay, any other questions at this time? All right, do I have a motion to move finance items A through J to consent agenda?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, we have some special ed.
Special ed is there for CSE meetings, CPSE meetings, 5 or 4 cases from December. And then next month, you'll get the ones that have taken place from now until April.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby accepts the recommendations from the Committee on Special Education and the Committee on Preschool Special Education, CPSE case number 1, CSE cases numbers 1 through 11, and 504 cases numbers 1 through 7. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Okay. And we have a number of policy items on for this month. The first read is policy 0130, district complaint procedures for federal programs. B is the first read for policy 1530, smoking and other tobacco use on school premises. First read of 9645, disclosure of wrongful conduct. The second read and adoption then of policy 4321, programs for students with disabilities under the IDEA and New York Education Law, Article 89, and also second read and adoption of policy 5139, concussion management. Do I have a motion to move those items A through E to consent agenda?
Just for the first, I just had a comment to make on those. Can I make that?
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just with regard to our policies, I was reading guidance to school districts for creating a safe and supportive school environment. And I just wanted to make a comment / recommendation. Some of our policies use just language in the masculine. Sometimes it's kind of inconsistent. And as just sort of a note here that I'm reading off of, most modern legal writing texts and style manuals recommend that writers use a gender neutral language. Gender neutral language is achieved by avoiding the use of gender generics, male or female nouns and pronouns used to refer to both men and women. So I feel in our policy manual, we could just use, like, you could just say the superintendent or something like that. You don't have to use he or she. Some of our other policies have just had he. I think the current ones on the table say he or she. We could use a gender neutral language, and it's a way to not.
Generally we've gone over that, and our attorney is pulling that out of every one that we go through.
Okay.
So I didn't notice that. If we missed something, we should certainly, she has been trying to make them gender neutral versus saying he, her, that kind of.
I don't know if you could totally, I think there were just a few he, she was better. There was some, when we first made the comment, it was just he.
Right, okay.
So it was like excluding the feminine altogether.
Right.
Now I think some of them say he, she.
Yeah, but it got changed to that, and then like in the last ones that we're doing, we're just completely removing any,
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Just wondered. Thank you.
So A, B, and C would just be a first read.
Yes, I realized that after I said that.
Right, that's why I just tried, I wasn't sure if it was like a total.
No, it's not. So sorry, my bad there. So if there are no other questions, then are there any other questions on policy? Do I have a motion to move policy items D and E to consent agenda?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Great, thank you. And now we're due for a report from our principal.
Okay. So I'm just looking at the master calendar for March, and it's 2 pages long. So I'm going to give you.
It must be busy.
It's a busy month. So I'll just give you some of the highlights. In addition to some of the trips that the PTA has sponsored that Ms. Payne talked about, we've actually had swim lessons at the YMCA for grades K through 2, and the kids are really enjoying that, and that came out of our budget. So thank you for providing that for our children. The musical, I think the cat's out of the bag. It's Beauty and the Beast for the middle school. So the rehearsals have been going on every night. They're working hard, getting ready for the performance, which will take place in May. And that will be at the high school. Our sixth graders went to see a play about Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad at West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. And our diversity club was treated to an art workshop at the Parish Art Museum. Martha Stotsky, who used to be the director here at Project Most, is now the art education director there, and really gave us the VIP treatment. I was lucky enough to go with the kids. Vicki Firemark is the coordinator for the diversity club, and they're having a Frida Kahlo exhibit right now among some other really, really nice exhibits. And the kids were able to make their own personalized flowers, art pieces, to put at the basis of their wood cuts that are life size that represent migrant workers from around the country, and they were able to plant their flowers at the feet of these statues. So it was very powerful, and we are very grateful for that experience. So thank you to the Parish Art Museum. And DARE graduation is coming up on Friday, 5th grade. So thank you to the East Hampton Town Police Department and Officer Toya. That will be in the big gym at 1:30 in the afternoon. And our Special Olympians are getting ready to bowl at All-Star Bowling in Riverhead this Sunday for the bowling tournament. And everybody's invited to attend. And we have quite a large group of volunteers from spring school, staff and parents, and everyone else who's going to go and help out for the event. And last but not least, the 8th grade staff basketball game, which is on the 31st, and that will be the green team versus the white team. And they'll be back at it to battle for the trophy for 2023. So, and that's in the big gym. So we're looking forward to a lot of these fun activities. And thank you very much for making it all possible.
Oh, sure, thank you, yeah. And now we'll have a report from our superintendent.
Enrollment report first. In the last month, we've had 13 new students register. It's been a busy month. Besides getting our pre-K students, the lottery was held. We have 46 pre-K students for next year so far. We have 54 slots. So we will have 3 sections already for next year that we know of, so there is some room. At the high school, our numbers also went up by about 6 students in the last month. And
so it was 13 in K-8 and then the 6 in the high school?
Yeah, if you want the specific grades, that we went up in 6th grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade. So that's why that enrollment for next year is something that we keep a close eye on.
Yeah.
Julie,
Pretty
do you
much-
have a
pretty
slide
much
on the
across the-
superintendent search? Yes.
Pretty much across grade levels.
I mean,
This
principal
trend.
search.
Usually it happens
Everybody.
I said usually it happens in bunches, but it seems like it's pretty spread out over grade levels, the increase.
Yes, yes. And the high school tends to still be that 10th and 11th grade.
Right.
And I think April usually is one of those months that we also see an increase.
Really?
That's the 5th slide here. So just this is the survey results, but also to give the board an update on the principal search. Ken and I met on Monday virtually and looked at 22 applications. One of the criteria the board had was someone who lives closer nearby. That did pull the pool down to about 4. So Ken and I made the decision to open the search through Sunday. And the reason we did that is there is a job fair at BOCES on Saturday that I will be participating in. And Ken thought maybe we would grab a couple of more candidates. Just in opening it up, sometime this morning, it actually opened up. We did grab another candidate that when I consider local, I am looking at the North Fork as well as the South Fork because they can come over on the ferry and looking at Shelter Island. So we hope to bring you 5 to 7 people still. And that was the reason for putting it back out again, if anybody was to ask. I wanted tonight to spend some time looking at the survey. The survey closed on Friday, the 17th, and we had over 233 responses. You can see the group that responded best was our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. They were able to do that during their social studies classes. Our teachers was about 20% of our teachers, 48. Staff members about 15. When I say 20%, it's out of the whole group. Parents, 54 parents were 23%. And community, there was about 12, and then other. Next slide, Julie. Let me go back to the actual language here so you can see. On the actual survey, we asked, what do you want to see most in the next principal? And we gave about 8 areas, and pretty much those areas were at the top of everybody's list. Strong curriculum and instruction, collaborative leader who listens, has a professional network for support is the 3rd one. The 4th one advocates for restorative practices for students. The 5th one lives in or near the district, a little bit lower on people's list, but I know what the board was looking for there. Ability to understand budget presentation and monitor. Ability to provide professional development. And the last one, 8, understands the needs of students and staff. That was up there with collaborative leader who listens. Next slide, Julie. We also have a pie chart on this. What do you think will be the 3 greatest challenges for the next principal? We gave our community 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual bullets, and then other comments. When you give that other comment, you can see they're all like singletons. There's maybe 2 people that are agreed on curriculum or something along that lines. And the 2, improving the culture in the building. And the communication, we're right neck and neck, 60%, almost 70% in the communication area. Post-COVID learning was about 47 people, 20%. Understanding Springs budget limitations, a big one there, 54%, 127. School safety at 33% or 77 people. And enhanced learning opportunities. That came through even in the 2 comment sections that we allowed people to. When you kind of go through there, you could see clubs, gymnastics, chess club, which we have. For the students, it was study hall, lunch in a cafeteria, hot food, more opportunities to socialize. So that was a common theme that came through. Can you show the pie chart, Julie, on the next page? So that's just what it looks like. It's, pretty even on the ones that we identified and spoke to for people, but then the individual comments as well. Next slide, Julie. And all I did here is if I had put the whole Excel spreadsheet up here, you wouldn't have been able to read some of the comments. So I just tried to pull out the ones that seem to have repeated themselves, and I combined a couple of them. So if you had the opportunity to be the next principal, what would be the first thing you would do? 203 people made a response. And I just combined some of these. Listen, have frequent meetings with parents, staff, and students. Town hall meetings came up as something that people would like to see, was more than one person. Approachable, visible, these were some of the key words. Bring the school together, improve morale was common. Open communication was common. I put this in here. There's only one person, but I thought it was a really good idea. Hire a bilingual liaison, hire a communication person, create strong relationships with the community. That was another theme that came out. Make sure staff is valued. Add more clubs, cafeterias, sports activities, study halls. That was definitely the students. And number 5 was, is there anything else you'd like to convey in this survey? And we received 170 responses. Some of those responses was no, but thank you for asking. But then some of these were setting the tone and vision for the school, get to know the staff and students and community, rethink the administrative structure in the school, find someone local who can commit and stay, find a way to compensate staff who live in such an expensive place so they stay. A suggestion box came up a couple of times. Next principal needs to be a role model of professional expectations. Need to find a way to work together. Make the principal have a bond with students. A principal with a big heart, compassionate, open-minded, flexible. I want to end this presentation with this quote because I thought this was great, and it was in somebody's narrative. Make spring school soar like the osprey. Might be something for the board to think about next year. Make spring soar like the osprey. So I thank everybody for their participation in the survey. It was great to get so much feedback. And the committees, of course, will have the entire survey available to them in a spreadsheet so that they can see what people are asking for the next principal to be.
Okay, great, thanks, Deb. We have a little old business here. I guess we need to respond. They're looking to know if we want to go to the conversation with the commissioner.
Last
call. Last call. If anybody's interested.
Just email me if you guys are interested, or if you have any more questions, like further about it, just shoot me an email.
And we do have progress towards goals. Somebody had asked about that recently at one of our meetings. How are we going towards our goals? And actually, making people aware of that is what we should be doing. So we have, do you have that in a, something here? Well, there we go, perfect.
So goal 1, increase social, emotional, behavioral, mental, and physical health. The wellness committee was created. Wellness survey sent out to the staff. This is Clary and the committee worked on that. Creating wellness challenge for staff and then the students. Wellness resources are being considered to be sent out for awareness and reinforcement. Wellness programs and opportunities currently being worked on. Open gym night was funded and ongoing through March for the students. Goal 2, improve governance and communication. Communication committee was created with a diverse set of stakeholders. Parent Square initiated. New website has been launched and continuously been updated for better informed students, staff, and parents and community. Various school educational workshops were set up. Gun safety, stop the bleed, Parent Square education. Continued collection of feedback for data-driven decision making. Goal 3, engage in strategic planning for fiscal responsibility and facilities. The budget workshop continue to be held. The next one is the 28th. We added one to the calendar. Building committees continue to meet regularly based on the needs and upkeep of the school. Health and safety wellness discussions are up to date and other recommendations are being made. Goal 4, bring student achievement back to pre-COVID levels. Again, thanks to the board, early morning tutoring has begun and the information Ms. Cleary has received has been very, very helpful In fact, we'll be looking at grant money to see if we can extend that out. Professional development days were added for teachers. Thank you again to the Board of Education. The next one is April 6th. Data is being tracked and presented to the board in the last board meeting, and then our curriculum meetings are being held to determine best courses to take in the future. Anything I've missed? Any members want to add? We've been putting in a lot of time, and I appreciate everybody who's been serving on the committee, from our staff to Board of Ed members and our committee members. And our staff.
Yeah, I think, we've definitely, we're able to make some strides this year and not having the other things hanging over our heads that we've had the past couple of years. I mean, we definitely went into this year looking at this as a year to get back to normal school, where we're not dealing with COVID and we're not dealing with the building and tackling some, regular kind of issues, of which these are. So, we still have work to do on these, but we wanted to present where we are with things so far. Okay, we have meeting minutes from our February 7th. So actually, let me just go ahead and say, be it resolved that the board hereby approves the minutes from the February 7th, 2023 work session and budget workshop number 2 and the February 28th, 2023 regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We have some committee membership updates. So be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby amends the Communication Committee to include Brittany Valentin and Maria Jimenez for the 2022-2023 school year. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we do have an open invitation to join committees. If somebody wants to come to a committee and check it out, you do not have to commit beforehand. You can certainly come up, see what's going on, and decide if you want to have, be further involved. And we also have minutes from 2 recent policy committee meetings on there as well. Do I need to approve the committee meetings, Julie?
No, you don't need to approve them, right?
I see we have scope awards.
Yes, Julie, do you have the date of the actual recognition so that the board can decide if they want to attend?
I do, but not with me.
Yeah, it's on my
I can
calendar.
send it to them, yeah.
So each year that I've been here, I've asked the board for support in recognizing staff. Since COVID, they've been only recognizing 3 staff members a year. And this year it is Eileen Goldman, one of our teacher assistants, Joan Knight, our science teacher, and our elementary science teacher, and Nick Nelson from the custodial staff that I recommended to Scope to be recognized this year. And they get to go to the ceremony at Villa Lombardi's with family members, and of course board members, administrators are invited to attend. So we're able to make it. We'd love for you to join us that evening.
That's great. 3 people have been very dedicated to our district, and we really appreciate them. Thanks. I believe we also have a walk-on item, which.
Yes, we have a resolution. Do you have that resolution, Barbara?
I have it right here.
Okay.
Do you have it?
No.
Oh, okay. Be it resolved that upon reviewing the appeal of a student discipline matter, the Board of Education affirms the decision of the superintendent in all respects, and be it further resolved that the district clerk shall notify the parents in writing of the board's determination. Do I have a motion? I mean, sorry. All in favor?
Abstain.
Saying, aye. All opposed? I didn't say aye for being in favor. That was me too. Sorry.
Eric is going to abstain, and then there's 4
Yes.
ayes.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, it is, we can move into public commentary number 2. If you wish to address the board, please bear in mind what I said earlier, and you can come up to the podium and state your name and address, and Julie will have the timer for you. Would anyone here like to address the board? Or is anyone called into LTV?
We have no callers at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Jessica Meganson. I need my full address.
That's okay, you live in Springs.
Okay, in Springs. So my question is, I have a daughter in 4th grade, and as we all saw, her teacher resigned. But at this point, no one's been notified as far as I know. So I'm just wondering, what is the policy with that? Are they gonna let parents know? Is there gonna be a discussion with the kids? Because as far as I know, I've told my daughter none of her classmates know.
Okay.
Which is really stinks for her, because she's the only one, she's sitting in class knowing her teacher's gone. So what is the protocol for that?
You want me to answer that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we were waiting for the board's approval.
So once it gets approved?
Acceptance, and then
Okay.
there's a letter going to parents actually directly after this
Okay,
meeting,
great.
and I will personally address
Yeah.
the students in the class tomorrow morning, first period.
Okay, and then my other question is, moving forward, are we still going with 3 classes for that grade next year as of now? Because as far as I
Yeah.
know, I think we've had more.
There's 4 next year.
There's 4.
My recommendation was for 4,
For the 5th grade.
for 5th grade next year.
Okay, because I think the last board meeting, it said 3. So that's changed?
My recommendation was for 4.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Is there somebody else?
Good evening, my name is Kristen Hughes, and I live here in Spring School. I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of what Jessica said. I was at the last budget meeting, and there was a possibility of 5th going to 3 sections. It was mentioned and it was discussed. So I would like to say that my child is in a class where there have been new students. They're up to 23 now. And I feel that it is so important to keep the class sizes small and to keep sections at 4, to make sure that we're really, because larger classes really affect academic progress. Not only does it affect academic progress, but it just creates a crowded classroom. If I had 23 kids in my class this year, that would mean a whole nother table for me, 5 more kids. So that affects everything. A crowded workspace, I pride myself on trying to get my kids to move around the classroom. We wouldn't be able to do that. We had to get more furniture in there. Also, it really, with more kids in the class, it's really difficult for teachers to meet in small groups. It's hard to meet, the students often and differentiate in small groups. And I really just want to please continue to go with Ms. Winter's recommendation and consider keeping the 5th grade at 4 sections, because this class really last year was their full year of school since COVID. Their year was interrupted during COVID, and then they came back for the hybrid model in 2nd grade. And I know that one of your goals is to bring the student achievement back to pre-COVID levels. And I really think that keeping the classrooms the classrooms, lower levels of children in the classroom.
Bigger classrooms, actually.
Yeah, we do need
Yeah, we do need
bigger
bigger.
but just please keep the section at 4. Thank you.
Somebody else?
Hi, my name is Mary Ellen Farrell. I live in Springs. I just have one quick question. When a community member foils information, typically how long does it take for them to get that information? I only did it 5 days ago, so that's why I just want to know how long I have to wait to get that information.
The district clerk will let you know what that is. It depends on the amount of information, depends on the complexity of the information. That it really varies depending on the scenario.
Because it does say that you're supposed to get it within 7 days, if you read it.
You're supposed to get a response within a certain
Yeah, I
period of
sent you
time.
today, this afternoon, a 5-day acknowledgement letter.
Okay.
So I did send you that with a date of when the actual information would be available,
Thanks,
20
Judy.
days from the date of the letter.
Terrific. Thanks.
So that went out
Is
to
it
you this
20 days,
afternoon.
did you say, Judy?
It's 20 days from the date of the acknowledgement letter, so I did send that to you this afternoon.
Thanks, Judy.
Okay,
Thanks
you're
a lot.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else here? Or again, LTV if anybody calls in?
Ashley White, I live in the Springs. I just had a question. I noticed the enrollment for this month was 13, so I'm just wondering, what is the address verification process for new students?
In what way?
When a new student comes and enrolls,
They have to show 3 proofs of residency.
and does someone go and verify that?
Not on every case, only those that we don't have those 3 verifications.
We do have ways of verifying, who is living at an address. When we do certain mailings in the fall, that is something that helps us ascertain if people are actually living at the place where they've said they are. And if things look inappropriate, then we have to take steps to address that. LTV, I'm guessing you were saying that there is not a caller, is that correct?
We have no callers.
Great. Anybody else at this time? Okay. So that will conclude our public commentary number 2. And at this time, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I do not want to adjourn the meeting.
No, not yet.
Do I have a motion to return to exec session?
Motion.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Great. Thank you very much, everybody.
We go back to the art room, Barbara?